I know we're up against the time to go to lunch, so we'll get through this and get you guys off. We're going to talk about filters, kind of the overview, dissolved metal filtration, the media properties, and then the products that we actually have for our filters. Definitions, sediments, suspended metals, dissolved metals and trace metals, total metals. These are all the things that you're going to be concerned with when selecting your filter, why you're getting our filters, everything like that. Simple periodic table of elements, everyone's familiar with it. Just kind of sections some of the metals. Metal is an element that is a solid matter and is hard, shiny, malleable with good thermal conductivity. Just some of the inorganics and everything else there. I used to have it kind of looks like it's all pushed to the left because one of my pictures isn't showing up here, but the Geotech disposal filter is used for filtration of ambient water for trace metal analysis to identify and quantify dissolved metals present. Realistically, it's why are we doing this? Because there's a regulatory agency that says so. The Clean Water Act from the EPA kind of gives the guidelines. And then you're doing the analysis for suspended metals and for health reasons. Metals can have a negative effect on life. This is kind of the overview of metal sources and industry prone. This is all basically done. Production, productivity in the world has caused some of these issues. So naturally occurring, there is some, but a lot of it's going to come from your mining, refining, smelting, production is going to cause some of those, the reasons why you're going to want to sample for metals. Filtration, a micron, 1/1,000,000th of a meter. This is just kind of, the filter membrane is a type of membrane that has pores. So you just got a little picture here. The maximum diameter to prevent passage of particulates of greater size, and that's how you
PFAS-free palm
analysis there. It's going to sample. It's going to filter your metals out. It's going to let the water go through. So there's certain things that you need to be, kind of aware of. Surface area, pore size rating, retention, everything like that. Retention and pore size rating is actually really important to this whole thing. If you kind of look at some of this picture right here for the depth media in the membrane, is the filter actually filtering? One of the common things that we have run into is clients telling us, your filter actually lets water go through slower than the other filter I used to use. Well, sure, but it's filtering. It's not just, stacks of filters on top that's letting water rush through and probably letting some of the metals that you're trying to grab go through. Ours is actually, it's a true filter, and it's going to be, properly sized out there in the pore size and the open spaces. Kind of another, just kind of a surface area, what's going to it and what's going out of it. The media types and ratings, open glass fibers, the nominal rated, pre-filters. If you need to worry about that, if you have high levels of turbidity, you might need to pre-filter before you go into a sample. Making sure you have something with an absolute rating pore size. That's just consistency. That's a quality issue. And then serial layering, which is kind of like how the filter is actually layered inside the capsule, so that you're making sure that you're actually grabbing and filtering properly. And then we just really kind of have a few different ones that we carry. The disposed filter VersaPore is kind of like our Cadillac model. This is going to cover everything that you need to worry about. Everything's going to be, your limits of detections are going to be in parts per billion. Field use and laboratory use, we sell a tremendous amount of these directly to laboratories. So they might be, if you get your supplies from the lab, they might actually hand you one of these filters. The certifications, it covers everything. It's all lot tested and traceable, and eliminates, cross-contamination. For a more economical and cost-effective unit, we also have the PES units. Still meets EPS regulations. There's no need for pre-rinsing or cleaning or anything like that. These ones are just going to save you a little bit of money. The reason why they save you a little bit of money compared to the VersaPores is that instead of being certified for the 68 metals at the Versport,
We also do this.
or it's about 43, 44 metals that it's certified for. It's probably the most common ones that you're going to run into. If you do a lot of RCRA 8 sampling, it's going to be fine. We have on our website and on the spec sheets, we have all the metals that they're certified for, so it's a really quick, does it meet the metal that I'm looking for, and does it meet the limited detection I'm looking for? That's all covered there for you. But yeah, I mean, if you're going through 100, 200 of these ones are definitely going to save you a couple bucks in the long run. We also have filter holders. So if you're using some flat stock filters, if you have a lot of turbidity in your sample, I usually like the filter holders. They're compatible with different, size membranes. They do have pre-filters so that you can sample beforehand. It's really easy to pop them in and out. And then, you're just reusing the holder itself. Get a bunch of 100 or 200 packs of the flat stocks and you're good to go. And then when you're thinking about a filter, you also want to think about the equipment that you need. If you've been in this room, you've heard Jeff talk about peristaltic pumps, bladder pumps, different types of tubing, bailers, probably in the hand pumps. These are just kind of the things that you'll also need while you're out in the field with the filters. For tubing, it does have, barbs on it. We also have barb adapters if you have different size tubings that you need, step adapters. So you're kind of covered there. You can actually use these in conjunction with a baler and a hand pump, with a high pressure baler and hand pump. And then you have, your normal peristaltic pumps, bladder pumps, or electrical submersibles. You just have that all tied in. If you were in here just a second ago and listened to the field sync thing, it's actually really nice because you can have all that, have the filter there, do all your analysis, grab all your samples, you're good to go. I actually am done. So you do that. Is there any questions that anybody had? I think I raced through that a little bit long because I thought I was actually against a little bit less of a clock, but was there any questions that anybody had? No? Fantastic. Oh.
What is the two different filters that you mentioned?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's Geotech's pricing on those? Are you familiar? I mean, just roughly.
Off the top of my head, little over 20, little under 20.
Okay.
Oh, one thing I did want to cover too, just as a kind of, it pops up all the time. We have high cap and we have medium cap capacity. I'm sorry, high capacity and medium capacity filters. A lot of people ask, when would you use either or? If everything's the same, there's not a lot of turbidity. Medium caps are going to be certified for the exact same things that all the high caps are going to be done, but a pint or less getting pushed through.
It's been my experience that maybe it's
capacity.
Okay. Yeah.
These ones also have a price difference as well. Mm-hmm. So, medium capacities tend to be a couple bucks per filter cheaper than your high capacity ones. So that's also something to consider as well. We have clients that have both, which makes it nice and easy because they're, one's white, one's blue. On our PES filter, the arrows are a different color depending on which one's a high capacity and which one's a medium capacity too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've used a bunch of those, and I was just curious what the difference is.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, a lot of it comes down to cost, and exactly what you're trying to sample for. Mm-hmm. The having the VersaPores and having basically the industry standard one, kind of put us in a small hole where everybody was coming out with different filters, and a lot of them were just going on a cheaper route. Well, why was it cheaper? Was it the same quality? So when we came with the PES ones, we found one that had the same kind of quality. It just was certified for a few less metals. Mm-hmm. But for, the majority of the ones that you're going to run into, yeah, and save you guys some, save some cost there too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Excellent.
Does your hand pump, like if you're out sampling with a baler, does your hand pump, do you have a good way to What do you hook that up to the
Yeah, you can actually have,
bottom of the baler?
you can actually have the hand pump going at the top of the high pressure baler,
Uh-huh.
and then the filter will actually be on the bottom. So you're pushing it through.
Okay,
Yeah, that way. I don't know if we have one of them displayed, but you know, if you wanted to see one, I can definitely grab one for you.
that's all right.
Yeah. We might actually have the hand pump displayed at the Geotech
Okay,
booth.
I'll look for